yeah, so that was why the album was recorded, really, and for me that was supposed to be the final album, or the final thing ever of Öldöds, just like to have closure, kind of.
Hello, Pos. Welcome to our little chat interview
Hi, man.
about Öldöds.
Thank you very much.
So, Öldöds can be directly translated to bear death. It's a good combination.
Yep.
Let's start with the album cover. And when we started talking about me doing the album cover,
Yep.
You didn't have the album name finished yet.
I didn't have the album name, and I didn't really have any cover idea. I only had like an idea that because the theme of Öldöds is, it's always been, beer, of course, but also I wanted to be like death metal. So I wanted to be violent, or blood, or know something that is connected to death metal too. So that's was the
it's not just comedy project, but it's also heavy as fuck and brutal.
Exactly.
And death metal.
And like the lyrics are supposed to be funny and stupid, of course, but at the same time I want it to be brutal in a funny way, but the cover is only like brutal and beer. It's not really funny, it's just really fucking cool.
I think it's a bit funny as well.
Yeah, I mean it's funny, but it looks fucking brutal.
Because the old album cover also is kind of brutal, with what do you call it, dismembered arm holding a beer can. I mean it's kind of the same. It's the same vibe.
Just a continuation of the same theme. Definitely.
You had you just wanted a brutal album cover, and then the album title Ölen ska ner, which I translated to like the beer must be downed, or something like that in English.
Kind of. The beer must
go down. Yeah.
Yep.
And I thought that was perfect for the album cover. It's like, you don't want to drink beer? Here, you need to fucking drink beer.
Yeah, and the beer, like, it can have multiple meanings. Like in the album cover, the beer goes down in his face, and the beer can go down in your throat while you're drinking it. So it's very, very deep.
Exactly. What has the reception been for the album or the EP? Because I think it was, at least amongst my small group of metalhead friends, a lot of people were excited for a new Öldöds record.
Cool. I mean, I think the reception has been pretty good, at least to my standards. It's definitely been good compared to other releases that I've had, and many people has told me that they think it sounds really heavy, and so that's fun to hear, of course.
What struck me, it's like it's a very unified sound on the EP, but the songs are very, very distinct as well. And I always appreciate that when it's not like the songs don't blend together so much that I can't tell which song is which. So even though a lot of bands, like I like, even though I like the band, sometimes I just mix the songs, kind of blend together to me because they sound very similar. But I think the songs on the EP are very distinct, so that's very
cool.
Very good to me.
Thank you.
In my book.
I mean, I think that's was one of the things when I made the EP. That first it was a full length album, but then songs fell off because I wasn't like 100% happy with them. So then it came down to these 6 songs, and I felt like I really like all of these 6 songs in their own way. So I think that that's what I wanted to achieve, really.
Yeah, and you succeeded, I think.
Thank you.
And even you have the Öldöds sound, and then I think it was one song that sounded almost like bloodbathy. So I really
cool.
like that.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, Bloodbath has always been one of the biggest influences, and they were the first. They were the first death metal band that I started to love when I was
really?
like 14 or something. So
awesome. Yeah, you're a bit younger than me, right?
Yeah, I think like 3 years old younger or something.
But I started listening to death metal a lot later, I think. Yeah, probably it was a little bit melodic intro. Maybe it was jag greppar en öl. I grip a beer.
Yeah, that was the first single from the album. I released it like 7 months before the actual EP.
Okay.
Because there's
you
also a
like
music video.
Okay. But you also released Fyllans tid är nu, which is like was a summer anthem.
Yeah, I released that like 1 week before Midsummer.
Yeah, that's funny.
And I was outside our house in the sun, like just I found a flower and put it in an empty beer can and just took a photo of it, and then I added the logo.
Yeah. DIY, no fucking AI art. It's DIY.
Totally DIY.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Homemade.
Yeah. So, from what I saw on, I don't know if it's accurate, but on Spotify it said that the first Öldöds EP was released in 2014. Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah, the first, I mean, the actual album was released in 2014.
So the idea behind the Öldöds, was it just to make beer-themed brutal death metal or something like that? What gave you the idea?
I don't know, because it was two friends of mine, actually, when we were like 18, going to, what's it called? Gymnasiet, high school.
Yeah, high school, yeah.
Yeah. So they came to me on a break in school and said that they wanted to start a death metal band.
Yeah.
And I was like, sure, let's do it. And then the next day I came to school with 3 written songs.
Okay.
And that became Öldöds, and I had the name ready and 3 beer themed songs ready.
Yeah.
And so then we started the band. So I kind of hijacked their idea of starting a death metal band.
Yeah, very original idea, and maybe not the starting a band, but at least the Öldöds was a fun theme. But but they weren't part of making the first album, or did you do it all yourself?
The thing was, those 2 guys were definitely a part of Öldöds, like if you want to call it, like the first era of Öldöds, because at first we were a band, like rehearsing and playing gigs. I mean, not like big gigs, because we were 18 years old, kind of.
Yeah.
But we had some gigs, maybe played, I don't know, 6 gigs or something, and rehearsed a lot and recorded like 2 demos, I think, and that was like 2007.
Okay, damn.
So that was the start of Öldöds, and we wrote, I don't know how many songs, 15, 20 songs.
Nice.
But then I thought But then like the drummer, he moved, so we like quit the band, or it you know took a infinite break kind of.
Yeah.
In a couple of years. And then I thought I just gotta record all these songs, because I really like the theme of the band, and I really like some of the songs. So I need to have a, what's it called, an ending to it all. I don't want to just leave all these songs out in nowhere.
Yeah.
So then, like 2012, I decided to actually record all, like every written Öldöds song ever. So that became like 20 or 25 songs.
Yeah.
And
I'm looking at the Spotify now, so it's
it's many songs.
Yeah.
On that album. So then so that was why the album was recorded, really. And for me, that was supposed to be the final album, or the final thing ever of Öldöds, just like to have closure, kind of. Yeah, but here we are.
Here we are, back at it again. But you did all the recording yourself back then for the album.
For the album, actually, Dennis Eriksson helped with the recording of that.
Awesome.
So and it was Emil Leon who played the drums.
Okay, cool.
But we recorded the drums, I think, in 2012 up at their school, where they studied.
Oh right, I think I've heard that story before. Yeah. It was back when Dennis was studying.
Exactly. So that was a great, like, I think we recorded 25 songs in 3 days or something.
That's
or
brutal.
20 songs, or I don't know how many songs it was really, but around 20 songs.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, so moving on to this era of your creative output, music output. You also have the Beaver grind project, Belarus Beaver.
Yeah.
How many projects are you working on at the moment? Like how are you working on them? Are you switching between them very often, or just focusing on one for like a month or 2 months?
When I write the music, then I can switch between them, because that's usually like I'm starting to write a riff either in Pro Tools, like recording guitar, or I still write a lot of music in what's it called, Guitar Pro.
Yeah.
Many times when I write a riff, maybe I'm thinking about the riff like a riff for Öldöds, but then I feel, no, this is more like a Belarus Beaver song, or maybe a doom metal song that doesn't really fit into my ordinary projects.
Yeah.
So then it became something else, and then maybe I write even more on it. And so many times when I'm writing music, I just write music and I don't know what project they will be for.
Yeah, so it's more like the focus is making a good song or making good riffs, and then you'll see what it ends up as, what kind of vibe.
Exactly. I mean, most idea. Like many times it's like that. At least we have a new project now that we're gonna release an EP with. Our first EP is called Sluka.
Oh yeah, I saw something about that on social media. I didn't know if it was your project or if you were like mixing or mastering or working for them, but it's a black metal project.
Well, it's kind of a crossover. It's like black death, doom, sludge thing.
Nice.
It's like supposed to be. We wanted it to be really fucking heavy, of course.
Yeah.
But also like have lots of black elements and stuff. So we're trying to combine these, and it will be very down-tuned some of the times, and also a lot of dissection in influences. So it's gonna be, I think it's gonna be pretty cool.
Yeah, sounds cool. So we can say also that Sluka is Swedish for devour, I guess.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
it was kind of the meaning for the band.
Yeah, exactly.
That's cool.
Yeah, so we wanted to it's with the vocalist of Belarus Beaver, LG.
Yeah.
And we wanted to make something that's not about beavers. So this is what this become, and we came up with the name like 2.5 years ago actually, and
okay, cool.
I've written like 10 demo songs that are not on the EP. So but then like eventually found the sound that we both like. So
awesome.
It's gonna be super exciting to release that.
So it's just you and LG or is it okay? The big thing is it gonna be a live band or not?
Yeah,
it is.
It's gonna be a live band.
Fuck yeah.
we have a drummer that's interested. We haven't really.
Yeah, but for now it's just you and LG, or.
Yeah. But we're definitely gonna play live, and try to do all the things that ordinary band does with this project. And
cool.
Also the drum is not like 270 BPMs.
Yeah, because I was just thinking about like I was gonna ask you about scenarios where you play live with Belarus Beaver or Öldöds, and it's like, yeah, but the drums are really drumming.
Yeah, it is. I guess that in on the Öldöds songs the drums are playable, but I've still heard that there are some hard stuff there too. But
there's a lot of double bass
things.
Fast.
But Belarus Beaver is like next level. There are not many drummers in Sweden who can play that. So yeah.
Yeah. When are you gonna release was it the EP?
Yeah, it's gonna be 4 songs on the first EP, and then we're hopefully gonna release another EP later this year. But I mean, we've actually sent it to the what's it called, pressing plant. Yeah, so there's gonna be a physical release, like a very small batch, but still like 100 CDs, and it will be released maybe in a month or 2 maximum.
Cool. So you're gonna do the physical and the digital release at the same time?
Yeah, that's the plan, I think.
Awesome. I'm looking forward to it. Mainly because I want you to play live again.
Yeah. Thank you. I mean, I want that too. I haven't played live in 6 years now, I think. So.
Yeah, maybe we can do some shows together or something in the future.
Totally, a tour.
Yeah, because our plan is to release the Creeping Flesh album next fall. Like
okay,
so
cool.
Hopefully in this year at least.
Nice.
So we're gonna do some release shows, I think. So
yeah,
we'll see what happens.
Cool. Then
you never know about the time schedules and everything.
Yeah, of course. Then you know what support band you want them.
Yeah, we touched a bit about like whether you play all your own instruments and stuff, but you write the drums, right, and you program them mainly.
Yep.
Yeah, and then you're gonna have a live drummer for the new Sluka project.
Yeah, and like we really wanted real drums on the first EP too, but then we would have to delay it a lot, but because we don't have a drummer, so we decided to release the first EP with programmed drums, but we definitely want to have real drums on everything from now on, even studio things. So
a really interesting topic to me is like you have the Beaver grind band, Belarus Beaver, and you have the bear death metal band Öldöds. What's your opinion on like having a theme for the band or the project? Like take for example like there's a lot of like joke metal bands like Necrogoblicon, for example, and like having a mascot, having a theme, having a sort of that thing. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, I think it's for posers, really. no, I guess no. I mean, I think theme bands are cool and funny. It's not something that you must have, really.
Yeah.
But I think it's good to have at least some kind of, what's it called? A profile, like
like a selling point, or
like
for me, I've been thinking like what's for Creeping Flesh, it's kind of been like we've always made music about World War One and World War Two, so that has been kind of our profile, or like our thing,
like a niche,
but it's not really reflected in the band name. The band name is just like old school death metal, but but maybe it works anyway. But we are where we are anyway, so it's really nice to have like the whole the short thing of like, oh yeah, this is the beer death band, this is the beaver band, like this is the goblin band, this is whatever, like Batushka have the, or Ghost have the masks and stuff. Like there's also always these things around the music that can enhance the brand, basically, if you want to talk marketing terms.
I mean, I think that's like for those big bands like Ghost and other of those, like Slipknot also. If we're talking super big bands, for them it's obviously been really good. But with my more comedic style of theme, I think it's both good and maybe bad, because it scares some people off who want their metal to be super true and really evil. But for me, it's those projects have been like just so much fun to do, and we don't try to conquer the world really with it. It's just really fun, a fun thing. But in general, if you have a kind of serious theme for your band, I think it's good, as long as it's a theme that many can relate to or think is cool.
It's like I'm personally kind of torn between, because on one hand, if the whole theme really works for the band, like one of my favorite black metal bands is 1914, which is like black and death doom or something. But it's all everything is themed around World War One, hence the name 1914, and they have the World War One outfits on stage and everything, and I think the singer has like a rifle for the microphone stand or something. I don't remember, but it's a very unified theme, and then it can be really cool, and it can be really cool effect for the live shows. But then also there's all of these like joke fantasy themed bands on, and I'm not taking anything away from them. They're good, really good songwriters, but it can get kind of almost generic, or too much focus on the fantasy get-ups on stage, and like the makeup and everything. And I don't know, it's just my personal opinion, but but I it kind of
totally
makes a joke
agree.
out of the metal, basically. That's my issue with it.
I mean, I guess some bands are like, they're like 80% joke and 20% metal.
And I also like Manowar, so
they are a discussion of their own.
You also have the side business. Do you have your own business? The Sound Tornado. And you mix and master. So what's it
Yep.
called? A sound engineer.
Yeah, like mixing engineer is what I do
Yeah.
primarily. Yeah, I'm doing that. Like when I get projects, it's like it can go 5 months and no jobs, and then I have 5 projects in 1 month. So
Yeah.
it's very much up and down. But I'm only doing it as a side gig, just for fun, really. So
Okay.
yeah, I really enjoy mixing, and when I start to mix and I'm like getting deep in it, I became this caveman. I just can't, like, I'm getting really obsessed with the audio and the sounds, and I can't really stop right then. I just, like, I think about the mix when I'm watching TV or something. I'm like, how can I make this? How can I get more mids in the bass? Because
I think that's a really, like, if you want to call it, like a beautiful thing. But when you're creative and you're creating something, and then you're really deep in a project, and then your mind just automatically thinks about problems and comes up with solutions when you're doing other things. That's really neat how that works.
Yeah,
Because sometimes
it
you
is.
just, like, you get ideas from out of nowhere, even though
Yeah.
you haven't been working on something like for a day or two, and then it just pops
Exactly.
into your head, and you're like, oh, yeah, I should try that, instead of just
Exactly,
sitting
yeah.
and just bashing your head against the computer screen or whatever
Yeah.
when something isn't working.
Exactly. I think
yeah.
that the brain is like processing stuff when you're not working on it. Like I did a mix a couple of weeks ago, and I didn't really felt that I got it there where I want it to be, and I couldn't really put my finger on it. But the next day when it just took like 5 minutes, and then I got very much closer at once, because I think the brain just needed to process, and the ears just needed to rest.
Yeah, I have the same thing with when I'm doing artwork and stuff, and sometimes it's just isn't like a composition. It's the same for writing music, I think, as well. It's like you it's not really working, and you can't put your finger on it, and then you get some time away from it, and you see things in a new light, and then it's like, yeah, right, I should try that.
Exactly. And and sometimes when you write music, it's like, why can't I get this riff to work in this context? And then I get there the other day, and this riff just sucks. That's why it doesn't work. It's just a bad fucking riff. So I then just remove the riff, and now it's better.
We had a similar thing. Like, we're really at the end of finishing up the album now, and we were like on the last song, and we were like, but we were working on the song structure, and like all of the parts were really good, but there was something that felt off. Like, it wasn't a unified thing.
Yeah.
So we just like, it wasn't that the riffs and melodies and stuff were bad. It was just, it didn't feel like the same song. Theoretically they should fit together, but it wasn't the same feeling in it. So we're just like, okay, we're gonna keep those for the next record, and we're just gonna trim it down a bit, and it felt a lot better.
Yeah, that's always the best thing to just kind of, well, not always, but sometimes it's
you have
definitely
to.
best.
It's trial and error, I think. Just
definitely.
seeing what works. But you said you just want to keep Sound Tornado as a side project, side thing from regular work, or do you have a dream to do it full time?
I mean, I definitely would want to do it full time, but it would take to learn stuffs that I'm not really good at, like marketing, and I'm not like working so much on getting new customers, to be honest. So that's an area that I would need to improve much, and like dabble in stuff that don't really have with mixing to do, and I just really want to mix.
It's a trade-off, I think, because your approach is really valid as well. I think just doing the projects that kind of comes to you, and not stressing about it, basically.
Exactly. I mean, I don't really need like the money from the company because I don't earn so much money anyway, and also I have music expenses for my own band, so it's not like I get a profit at all really. But maybe it can.
Yeah.
I can pay some of my like new strings or a new microphone or
because you
whatever.
can put it on the company expense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I'm mostly like doing it because I love to mix, and why not make some money from it.
Do you have any other topics you want to talk about?
No, I don't know really. I think we've covered it all. Everyone should follow Sluka on Instagram and be ready when we release our new our first song, 30th of January.
30th of the January.
Yeah, so in like 2 weeks or something.
Yeah, Sluka official.
Yeah.
Here we have it. I'm
Sluka
holding it up on
official.
focusing. There it is. Sluka official. Yeah. You have a new follower. There we go.
Thank you.
30th of January. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for the interview and for hanging out with me on this gloomy January Friday in Sweden.
Thank you, man.
Thanks.
Good luck with the Creep and Flesh album too.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Okay.
Yeah.